Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about what the terminology people use these days for abuse, basically topic. But people who are going to try to get counseling, and they have always what they've seen online, heard online, is to call it narcissistic abuse. Well, okay, in my generation, they use terms like domestic violence, domestic abuse, you see? Where was I? But just say that you're calling for because of your dysfunctional family or your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever, that kind of relationship. And it can even be work, okay? You know, that you're spending so much time with them, I would consider that. So you're calling them and there's a secretary or, admin assistant, and she says a woman, she answers, and you say, I'm looking for a counselor that deals with narcissism or even narcissistic abuse. Now, that's not the terminology they use there. So this is the secretary. This is not the counselor. And she says that as far as she knows, no, they don't, the counselor or counselors don't deal with that. It's the wrong question, you see. Maybe she learns from that moment on, but it would be domestic violence, domestic abuse, family, just family troubles would be even closer. But the narcissistic abuse is something that's caught online, and not everybody is online and is watching and reading and learning stuff about that, just a common online terminology. It's not what's out there. You see what I'm saying? Okay, like I said, it's the secretary answering, and that could be just someone who schedules appointments. That's, anyway, that's not the counselor. The counselor might understand if you called in the counselor answer, but, sometimes maybe often it's in the secretary. And now I want to also give another example. Okay, now I wanted to add something I was thinking about this morning that I remember. I'm 56 years old. When I was young, say in my teenage years, I remember hearing, like you're invited over to somebody's house, or maybe when I was, just say whenever you're young, and you're invited over to a married woman's house that's young too. It might be your older sister or friend or whatever. And the husband comes in and he says something to her and she gets really angry. Well, you know this person, and the person usually isn't like that. And she just snaps at him and says something. And how many of us had been through something like that? And we wonder, wow, why did she snap at him? He just seemed like he was saying something funny. No, it was an inside taunt, not an inside joke. It was a taunt. And I've said this and done a video on this before. And I was thinking about this again, how it's so easy to see, to see it that way, that it's her. And the way I was thinking about it is, this is a kind of a smear campaign he's doing. Okay, think about it. He's taunting her, trying to do the crazy making thing that she'll pop off, which she did. He's doing it to hurt her, humiliate her, but like really sneaky. These people are master manipulators. So doing it in such a sneaky manner, an inside taunt. So he's doing the crazy making, and it works. And what he's trying to do is to make her look bad, like she's the bad one, and that's the smear campaign. It's the smear campaign right in front of her face. Often they're behind the scenes. Often, the person that's being smeared doesn't even know until somebody, if anybody, says anything, and it could be years. Okay, and he may have worked the magic, because other people say, wow, she really went off on him, and yeah. They might see her as what they call covert narcissist, the one who's doing everything, like has one target, say at home, their spouse, and yes, it happens to men too, the vice versa, reversed. So it's worked because he's working that magic. He's saying that in this, he's saying, she's the covert narcissist. She's the one. So, he's setting up that she's the one who's the violent one. So in case, or abusive one, so, later on, in case something happens, he has already set the scene where other people have seen her, like she was doing wrong. So always be careful with that. When you see something like that, be careful, seriously, on how you see it, and if you say anything to anybody else, because it could be just that. He's doing the crazy making. He's setting up this smear campaign. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you want to subscribe to this channel and you haven't already, click the circle icon that pops up. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click on the rectangles, like, subscribe, comment, and share on your own social media if you would. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.